My name is Elijah Jamal Balbed, and the title of my piece is The Corona Blues, The Shock and the Struggle.
Elijah Balbed is an accomplished saxophonist, composer, and educator from D.C. As featured in The Washington Post, you can find Elijah and his band playing jazz all over the city, on the streets, and in the area's best venues. This piece comes from his series, The Corona Blues.
Well, I'm a DC native. I was born in DC and grew up in Silver Spring, Maryland. So I grew up around the music scene around here and have witnessed it go through a lot of changes. But one thing that hasn't changed is the strength of the community, the musicians always finding places to play and supporting each other, supporting newer musicians who move to the area. So that's one thing that comes to mind when I think about the DC music scene, is the support and the community of it. Well, what brought me here was my mom, who had me in Washington, D.C., but the reason why I stay, and that's a great question because a lot of musicians do leave the DC area for hopes of, different opportunities in different cities or different parts of the world. But DC is an underrated scene when it comes to live music and jazz in particular. There's so many amazing musicians that live right here in the DC area and still tour and perform with, all kinds of different artists, but are based right here and play all around town. And so it's a thriving scene and a great place to be for a musician. My favorite thing about being a musician, and I think I came to realize this during the pandemic, is performing. The adrenaline you get from having a live audience react to everything you play, the applause you get after a solo, the reactions you get when you walk off the stage, those little nuances of the live performance that we've been deprived from during the pandemic are the things that I think I really appreciate. Yeah, well, the subtitle is The Shock and the Struggle, and I wrote it around the beginning of the pandemic because those were literally the emotions that I had experienced. At first, it was shock that, all my main streams of income had disappeared from performing and touring and things like that. And the struggle that followed, trying to, make it as a full-time musician and dealing with a pandemic on top of that. I think it's been transformative figuring out how to create and how to survive during the pandemic. For one, it's forced me to catch up with my generation and the generation below me when it comes to music technology, learning how to record at home, learning how to make music by myself, without a band, without accompanying musicians, and which has also actually helped me compose in a new way. I used to always compose with other people or on a physical instrument, but now I use sometimes things like Logic or different MIDI instruments to create music in ways that I never before the pandemic. I'm grateful to emergent-seed for this opportunity, so thanks for having us. And ejbjazz.com, @ejbjazz on all social media. Peace.